Hello. So we work with different words, context, situation, and imagination. Yes, the picture. Yes. The subject is the city and how they're growing up. We are architects, builders, graphists, cooker, and different things. We have always been analyze cities in a horizontal way, so we try to go in a vertical way and to analyze different layers. Those layers could be stories, experience of place, etc., etc. To understand this layer, we create tools to observe, tools to share with people, and to make people speaking about their own place. These tools could be a map, could be a way to observe something, and a way to changing the point of view. So mostly it's begin with an expedition to say, okay, we can give access to something different in a city. It could be on the underground, it could be on the top, or it could be more metaphorical about a use of something. It's also the idea of making a narration, like a kind of scenario. A scenario like a pretext, because we need pretext to talk to people, to create some new needs, to create some new use of spaces. After this kind of exploration, this is the time also of using stuff. Because we talk to people, we observe differently the city, so now we can change and choose a place to work in. This kind of exploration are always the first step of another project. Here it was in France, for example, we work with cities about how we can define a new time. There is a time of where we built the city, where we built a new neighborhood, how we can define a new time to redefine the use of the city. So for that we work on cities but also on landscape with city planners. And our work is more to say, okay, we can make prefiguration of something, we can test new paths, we can test new symbol of something. We work with inhabitants, but also with workers. Here in France, it's a landscape of 20 kilometers where we create this new path and we create the experience of this new path. There is a landscape, there is cities, but there is also the way of building something. We transform woods, we transform materials, and we know where they come from. It's important for us because the industrial neighborhood of the city are in the suburb, and it's interesting to how we can be on the city and create with our place of workshop relationship with people. We're here in a new public space in France, which is interesting. It's the first time that two cultural associations work with the city to build a new public space. So it was obviously to design some good furniture, but also consider furniture as a just pretext also of making discussion, making workshop, making place of cooking, etc., etc. So the idea is how you design something who can be a day a place of workshop for kids, and the other day a place of conference for old people, etc., etc., and how we can push the limit of the public space. For example, here it was okay. We were talking with the city about how if it's possible to make a classroom of children in the public space here, and how a kind of architecture can give it to public space. So it's always the same. It's like they ask us to build some object, to build some form on how we change the focus. Yeah. Then there is other kind of tools, other kind of representation. There is the architecture, but there is also the way to represent the place where we live. For that, we define new tools, but we change just the way of representation. Here it was like a map of a big landscape, and we just work with people about how we change the legend, how we can change the name of places. So this is just of changing point of view of something. In another way, cities need new kind of ritual of public space, because doing something simple becomes complicated in a way. I work with a theater company, and we make just like a kitchen, or we make pasta during one day with a team of inhabitants of a neighborhood, and the pasta becomes like the scenography of the show, and at the end we don't have table, so inhabitants need to come with their own table to eat with us. So it's creating something sometimes funny and easy.